Ba-ba-ba.
Time of year that schools host their annual Christmas programs. It gives the students an opportunity to show what they learned and the parents a chance to see their babies perform. But 4-year-old Astoria Monique from Denver, what exactly those are. So, the after the police, they do go into the investigator's parents' home looking for any clues that can kind of shed light as to the motivation for the shooting. They also have poured over on social media, discovering that she had leanings towards neo-Nazi ideology and violence. The police chief also mentioned that there are rumors of a manifesto floating around, but they have not been able to authenticate it. That is something that they are working on doing. Bill.
Jacqueline, it's understandable the tension is running high. Yesterday, Madison's mayor got pretty heated during a news conference when pressed for more information about the victims, saying it's none of people's business. Let's listen to that one.
It is absolutely none of y'all's business who was harmed in this incident. Please have some human decency and respect for the people who lost loved ones or were injured themselves or whose children were injured. Just have some human decency, folks. Leave them alone. Let them breathe. Let them recover. Let them heal. Don't feed off their grief.
Well, that kind of emotion is completely understandable. Also, what she's saying is understandable. What do you make of how the community is responding here?
They are being very protective over the victims and with what happened. And just there were 6 people sent to the hospital, 2 who were discharged, but 2 are still in critical condition with life-threatening injuries. 2 people were killed, the teenager as well as the teacher. So, the mayor is really trying to protect those families and those who are mourning, as you clearly heard with what she said in the press conference. And just again, the holidays are next week, so the families that were impacted by this have been hit really hard, and so they are just asking for some privacy. And the mayor also spoke for a considerable amount of time about mental health, encouraging every member of the community to rely on each other and also take some time to kind of just sit in what happened and reconcile any sort of emotions and feelings, especially students time of year. Bill.
Jacqueline Lee in Madison, Wisconsin. Jacqueline, thank you. More drone sightings are being reported now as far west as Utah. Intelligence officials say that they are starting to get a clearer picture of what at least some of these sightings might be. Some remain convinced, however, there's still more that we don't know. ABC News transportation reporter Sam Sweeney joins me now. Sam, what's the latest on these new drone sightings and what are intelligence officials telling us about them?
Well, intelligence officials believe that most of the drones that people are seeing are legal drones. They are operated by Americans who have registered their drones and can fly them day and night, no problem. Where it becomes a problem is when you start to fly them near military installations or near airports. Now, typically, a drone with GPS technology won't go up. So I own a drone, and if I try to launch it in Washington, D.C., it physically will not turn on and go up. They are geofenced. But if you are a nefarious actor, you can alter those drones and make them do that. And right now, they want to move that out, and they are using special drone technology to do that. But in fact, it's across the federal government, they are making that any nefarious, major nefarious actors. These people reporting are simply people who are flying their drones legally, or they are manned aircraft. So a commercial airplane, a private jet, a helicopter, or even a drone police department. And just the last hour, we spoke with a Congressman Zach Nunn from Iowa, who has been following all this. Let's listen to what he had to say.
We need to have a real response here in the United States. Because the second thing I know is that the majority of drone technology is coming from China. Nearly 90% of it, both the hardware and the software. And other drone technology, like the kind we was talking about in Iran, that launched nearly 300 weapon systems in Israel this year, and tragically killed 3 U.S. service members in northern Syria at the beginning of this year, resulted from a drone technology that came online because Iran and other countries found space for this. So the overseas threat is real. We want to make sure that doesn't end up on a domestic shore right here in the United States.
And we should make it clear that there is no evidence pointing to these drones coming from either Iran or China or any other foreign actor. The Pentagon has shot all of that down, but they continue to investigate. The FBI has received thousands of tips and videos, and so far they have nothing to say that this is anything nefarious.
And still saying the Pentagon is now deploying additional counter-drone systems. What do we think about that?
Well, one of the items is known as a drone buster. It looks similar to a police radar gun that you would see also using as speed enforcement on the highway. What it does is interrupts the signal between the remote control and the drone, and they can land that if they need to. So they would be using these near airports or near military installations, and those were recently launched just within the last couple of days.
All right, Sam Sweeney, thanks for keeping us up to date.
Thank you.
President-elect Trump's pick for Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, is heading back to Capitol Hill today in her bid for support from Republican senators. Trump took to social media overnight, urging senators in his party not to make any deals with Democrats that could fast-track the nomination process. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang joins me now for more from West Palm Beach. Selena, Trump is also calling for former Congresswoman Liz Cheney to be investigated, making claims that she broke a number of federal laws. What's the latest on that?
Hey, Phil, yeah, Donald Trump made those claims on Truth Social at around 3 a.m. this morning, writing in his post that she should be investigated and that she could be in a lot of trouble. That post comes after House Republicans released a report led by Congressman Loudermilk saying that Cheney should face criminal investigations for her role in investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol. That report accuses Cheney of witness tampering and colluding with former White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson. This report is just the latest effort from House Republicans to discredit the January 6th committee. Cheney, for her part, she is hitting back. She's writing this statement saying that President Loudermilk's interim report intentionally disregards the truth and the subcommittee's tremendous weight of evidence and instead fabricates lies and defamatory allegations in an attempt to cover up what Donald Trump did. Their allegations do not reflect a review of the actual evidence and are a malicious and cowardly assault on the truth. Now, Donald Trump, he has vowed retribution on his political enemies. He said in an interview earlier this month suggesting that Liz Cheney should go to jail. He's also appointed staunch loyalist Kash Patel to lead the FBI. Now, this also comes as we're hearing from sources that President Biden and some of his senior aides are considering whether to issue preemptive pardons to protect people like Liz Cheney from being targets of this incoming administration.
All right, Selena Wang from West Palm Beach. Selena, thanks. Coming up next, the Federal Reserve is expected to cut interest rates again today, what it could mean for your bottom line. The news never stops. We are here. Welcome back. The Federal Reserve is expected to cut interest rates for the third time this year. Most economists are expecting another quarter-point cut, which could bring the Fed's benchmark rate down to a range between 4.25 and 4.5%. ABC News business reporter stock risk joins us now. For more on that, how much are you looking for today, and where will Americans feel the impact?
Yeah, final Fed meeting of the year, foregone conclusion that we're going to get that quarter-point cut today. I think it'd be really surprised if it would take Wall Street by surprise if no cut happened. The Fed has been quite clear in telegraphing that it expects to cut rates today. And again, you're right. What will it mean for Americans? It's going to mean interest rates for things like credit cards should come down. Car loans, mortgages we thought would come down, mortgage rates, but they're not directly tied to the Fed's benchmark rate. And we've actually seen mortgage rates tick up in the past few weeks. But those are some of the areas that people will feel the impact.
There's a lot that goes into the decision, but this comes as last month's consumer price index showed prices rose 2.7% compared to this time last year. That's a factor?
That's a factor. Inflation, the overall health of the economy, the job market, all of it is looking pretty good. Remember, the inflation did move a little bit higher in the past couple of months. The Fed should be looking at that. They don't want to make the wrong move with interest rates cut too much and fan inflation. 2.7%. That was our last read. Remember, it was at 9% in June of 2022. So we're getting closer to the Fed's 2% target. Food and energy over the Fed a few years was still paying a lot more for, and that's a consideration for the Fed.
So if you get what you're expecting, or what we're expecting, not you,
Right.
what we're expecting, we probably won't do anything for a while, economists say. So what can we look at going into the week?
Right, so big question over the new year because there's so many unknowns. We have a new administration coming in. We know that Trump has said he wants to institute these tariffs. Many economists have said they believe those tariffs will be inflationary. So a lot of economists are keeping it close to the vest. They're saying, look, we thought maybe we get 4 interest rate cuts from the Fed in 2025. Some are now pulling that back. They're saying 3, possibly 2. I think the Fed's just going to take some time to figure it out. I'm really curious to see what Fed Chair Jerome Powell is going to say today after the Fed decision. They have a press conference as usual. And we're looking for any clues about what he says about inflation and rates going forward.
You know, we're not pen and paper.
You bet I know. Oh, today I can hear it.
Yeah, even that technology. Alexa, thanks so much. And we'll be right back.
What makes Elton John so iconic?
Everyone's talking about Elton John.
Elton John. There will never be another. Everything that you want Elton John to be is.
Superstar and a legend. Now, Elton John opens up an exclusive interview with Elton John.
I'm so sorry, and I'm better than I did. And there's a lot more to come.
Elton John is still standing. Now streaming on Hulu.
3, 2, 1. It's not about the fear or risk. It's about the love of flying. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I'm doing live. You don't have clothes.
Wait a second, wait a minute. Looks like there's 3 people coming down the river. The everlasting land. What is this?
Bosses.
We died by the last stop there.
We got the boat.
What's the big answer? The national parks around the world.
This area is all right now. Cartel, run, gold money.
They have to be saved.
the Supreme Court is set to hear arguments over a law that would ban TikTok if it's not sold to an American company. The move comes after TikTok filed an emergency appeal asking the court to block the law. ABC News contributor and Google Tech Policy Fellow Mike Muse joins me now with more. Good morning. Good morning to you. Yeah. We'll get to ChatGPT in a minute, okay, as we were planning, but there's breaking news. So what is the court looking at here?
The court is looking at taking up this case. Let me tell you, I just wanted to say, I bet every TikToker woke up this morning, see this news, and are super excited for this. I knew the Supreme Court would have to take on this case because of the fact that over 130 million Americans use TikTok. TikTok isn't just for dances, as a lot of people think that it is. It's how small businesses are able to attract new customers and businesses.
TikTok.
It's amazing living in New York City now. You see so many small businesses like
TikTok
shops,
case.
candy stores. The lines are wrapped around the corner, around the block, all because people are starting to hear about their businesses from TikTok. A lot of Americans tune out also to receive their news from TikTok. And so TikTok now has become this much more evolved system than that. And so with that responsibility, I really felt that the Supreme Court had to take on this case and really ask more questions of the federal government about the questions why. And if it is about national security, how are they looking at other companies and not singling out TikTok, other companies like Temu and Shein?
Yeah, you've been saying that every time you and I have this conversation. Why TikTok? Why not others?
Because that baffles me, Phil. They're always saying that TikTok has a security threat, propaganda, and misinformation, but we've already seen that with other social media platforms like Facebook and X, formerly known as Twitter. Also, too, in terms of TikTok, Shein and Temu also has your personal biographical details, your home address, your cell phone number, your credit card information, even more ways that can be targeted as a threat to national intelligence. And so, for me, it wasn't equitable, and so because it wasn't equitable, it remained a question for me, then why?
Understood. And you and I began a conversation this weekend on ABC News Live weekend that I want to continue with you now. A bipartisan House task force is making recommendations about the government's use of AI in this new report. And this comes as recent reporting about testing of the new ChatGPT. It's called 01 is O1 is the name. O1 is the name of the new model. So this thing, this model, tried to outsmart its creators when they tried to turn it off, and then they tried to do that. Just take us through this.
I mean, it's just insecurity. ChatGPT was still insecure that day.
So they really is like us.
But this is a perfect right, so I love talking about you. Because this is why the federal government needs to get serious about artificial intelligence and tech policy. Because that's why TikTok is just a shiny object. It's easy for them to run electronic because it's related to China. Instead of doing the hard work, which is looking at data privacy, instead of looking at the hard work, which is artificial intelligence regulation and policy, because we have to be able to work with these companies that one, they'll stifle innovation. The reason why I say that, a lot of Americans are concerned about this, want to end artificial intelligence, put a moratorium. Why did that serve America? Because other companies like China, India, other countries are using AI technologies and advancing it, and so we don't want to fall behind in the AI race. But that doesn't mean the federal government can't work with American companies. They want to put the safeguards in. ChatGPT and other AI companies, this wasn't ChatGPT, but other companies who work with generative AI, like ChatGPT, that's what it's called, have to be able to put guardrails and safety measures in place to ensure that these machines don't override itself to what you just mentioned about. They don't become temperamental and they stop being insecure.
OpenAI CEO Sam Altman it said that he wants to improve on considering AI is already outsmarting the current safety guidelines. He's looking to improve it. And this is the smartest one yet. Where do you think the company goes?
That's such a good question that you asked as well. I really want America to really think about it like this. ChatGPT, this is only its 5th iteration. You know, if you think about where we are with like Google Pixel phone, we're in the 9th iteration. If you look at your Apple smartphones, what are we on Apple 14 right now? And so there's so many different iterations that it takes for like these smart models to really get to the area of perfection. And so that's really where ChatGPT is. It's so advanced that we don't really recognize how new the technology is. And so because this new technology within ChatGPT and other generative AI systems, we are going to find things that are issues and wrong. But thankfully, we're catching it early enough so that we can ask the questions. At its heart-filled is this narrative we call in the tech industry reasoning. The reason why ChatGPT is ahead of the game in so many other generative AI products is because ChatGPT has the ability to reason. Reason means having a very sophisticated conversation to do deductive reasoning.
How are you? Good.
That's
Good, good, good.
Right itself and to lie to developers as having advanced reasoning. And to corrupt it lies. Oh yeah. So I didn't do it. You didn't do it. Not me. Okay. Well, you didn't to know. I didn't do it. Mike, thanks so much. Always a pleasure. And I'm Phil Lipoff in for Diamond Sandwich. Today the news never stops. Not every week we have a lot of news after the break.
The news never stops.
From Tampa, we are here tonight as Hurricane Milton has just made landfall.
The surge just keeps coming up.
Right on the border between Ukraine and Russia. Good artillery position about 2 miles away from Gaza.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
We're not far from where this rally took place, so just stick with us here, traveling with the president to the U.S.-Mexico border.
Here in London today, off the coast of Gaza, downtown Tel Aviv, rockets and missiles coming in from
The most devastating disaster in Hawaii. Some areas are still smoldering.
Wherever the story.
To the front lines, the ruins of Rafa.
the FBI, reporting from Capitol Hill in western Portugal.
Outside of Mexico City.
In Iceland, what's going on?
Here in France.
The eclipse across America.
Stunning.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is,
Wherever the story is, we're gonna take you there. We're streaming
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
We're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere because the news never stops. Thursday night.
It was a brazen homicide.
Roman Gianni, the untold story. How did he go from honor student to alleged killer?
He's a handsome young person. Social media is going nuts. It's a major news drama.
Not Thursday night on BBC.
Wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Getting you behind the stories as they happen. ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Streaming free on ABC News Live.
Hi, I'm Phil Lipoff in for Diane.
Hello, my friend Brett. Thank you for the share.
Wildfire outbreak, massive flames. Look at this. Erupt in Southern California, threatening homes and forcing evacuations. The latest on the firefight and the extreme weather, making the conditions even more dangerous. Massive winter storm. A new fast-moving weather system is sweeping across the plains all the way to the northeast. The biggest threats, with millions of Americans planning an early start to their holiday travel. School shooting investigation, new details about the suspected shooter who opened fire at school in Wisconsin. The post made on social media as the community gathers to remember the victims killed. And the widening drone mystery. More drones spotted in the skies as far west this time as Utah. What lawmakers are now demanding as the Pentagon deploys new measures, including a drone buster. But first, this wildfire outbreak in California to tell you about. It's prompting mandatory evacuations. The Jarupa Valley fire is burning dangerously close to homes near Riverside, which is just east of Los Angeles. So far, the fire has burned roughly 30 acres and is only 20% contained. Meantime, a massive winter storm is on the move as well, threatening millions of people from the place to the northeast. Meteorologist Samar Theodore joins us now. Samar, let's start with these wildfires out in California. What's the latest on the fire danger?
Yeah, the situation has become pretty dire there, Phil. So just giving you the setup, it's a similar setup we've seen before. The Four Corners high pressure system sitting over the Great Basin. As that circulates so close to California, we get these offshore gusty winds. The Santa Ana winds, as a result, we've seen as high as 71 miles per hour. That's really strong when it comes to wind gusts. That just exacerbating the situation, along with the fact that humidity's down to 10 to 20%. So as a result, through this morning, we remain under a red flag warning from Oxnard to Malibu, just to the west of Burbank. High wind alerts situated where that fire is burning in Riverside, Temecula, Palm Springs. This evening tonight, we should start to see the winds subside a bit, but I will say we're in for record-breaking heat in the coming days in parts of the West, so that's not really helping the situation long-term. Meanwhile, we're dealing with some activity as we get ready to head into the holiday season on the East Coast.
I have fans down.
This massive winter storm. What's the latest track?
I have fans on the floor, watching me while I'm cooking.
The storm bringing that winter component, but then when you look down at this, it almost looks like a streak of storms just lining from Texas into Little Rock, Memphis, Nashville, Louisville. This is Futurecast showing us where this line of storms is headed. Notice how it continues to traverse towards the east with that northward pull. These areas along I-55 south of Memphis in Nashville, headed towards Asheville, thunderstorms, very gusty winds, and even an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. That's through this afternoon. As we head into tonight, in the Northeast, New York City, Hartford, Philly, things have been pretty quiet today. We had a little bit of a reprieve, but more rain is getting ready to return. That's along the I-95 corridor. Look at where the snow is situated. That's further inland along I-90. This is like upstate New York and into parts of New England. By the time it's all said and done, when it comes to snow, some of those higher totals are sitting a little bit farther west into the Great Lakes region, but we can see generally 3 to 6 inches of snow. Phil?
All right, Tamara Theodore, thanks so much. Meantime, police are searching for a motive in the Madison, Wisconsin school shooting. The police chief there says the shooter appears to have been motivated by a combination of factors, and they are investigating whether bullying perhaps played a role. ABC's Jacqueline Lee joins me now from Madison, Wisconsin for more on this. Jacqueline, what's the latest on the investigation?
So, the police chief said their number one priority is to determine that motive. And as he said they believe there's a combination of factors, but he would not detail what exactly those factors are or what they believe that to be, because he says it's too early in the investigation. But they are pouring over the alleged shooter's social media, and they believe that she, participated in forums that celebrated, mass shootings, and that she had a leaning towards neo-Nazi ideology and violence. But at this point in time, they're actually asking for the public's help, saying if anyone knows anything about maybe what led up to the shooting, if there was anything that could have contributed to the thought process of this alleged shooter, they're asking for the public to reach out to police. So,
Jacqueline, the community held a vigil last night for those who were killed, obviously. That must have been gut-wrenching. What's the community like today?
People are very upset, and understandably so. I mean, especially around the holidays with Christmas next week. People at that vigil said it could have been anyone at that school, and even the police chief mentioned anyone could have been a target. So many people in this community are really banding together. We saw at the press conference yesterday, officials spent a significant amount of time talking about the importance of mental health, taking a breath, and just understanding and how devastating this shooting was, and taking that time to center, especially around this time of year.
Jacqueline Lee from Madison, Wisconsin. Jacqueline, thanks so much. More drone sightings are being reported now as far west as Utah. Intelligence officials say they are starting to get a clear picture of what at least some of these sightings may be, but some remain convinced, however, there still is more we just don't know. ABC News transportation reporter Sam Sweeney joins me now. Sam, what's the latest on these drone sightings, and what are intelligence officials saying now about them?
Well, everybody wants to know what these potential drones.
More than $4,000. I've had 5 planes, and that is $3,500 that I've kept in my pocket.
You paying over $2,000? And that's just so far. So, who's gonna pay for your next car repair? You or your own?
Whether you put 10,000 or 100,000 miles a year on your car, if it's less than 20 years old, insurance has you covered. Plus, your plan.
Hello, stranger. How are you? Hello, my friend, Chain.
Call right now and get $300 off any plan. So for a full year of our
Doing good.
a $2,000 value,
Stranger.
all insurance plans come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you have to act now. Call 1-855-252-0089. That's 1-855-252-0089.
After 50, storage line, 6 close down. I'm not a I had a secret. Turn back the clock on that. Yes, it was going on years. Without product, but just temporarily running the system. They may have scary tiredness. My secret? Here's the last bit there.
I'm work at 10 here. What time is it? 11:37. 11:37 in here. AM.
That's on us. You make the most comfortable spot in the history of people. So comfortable. You wish you had more. Visit Thomas.com and get 20% off your first order.
I hear cancer. I hear destinies.
Every 15 seconds, someone dies from cancer. At the American Cancer Society,
At the state road, two restaurants passed. According to the county sheriff's office, she was immediately terminated following a DUI arrest, which is consistent with the department's policy. She's been hired in September 2018 and worked as controlled deputy.
Cooking for lunch.